Yeah, but this is the Interesting Conversation podcast. My name is Nelson Crawford. I'm your host. I'm at the head of the table, but by no means does that mean I am the most important person on this show, because I wouldn't be able to make this happen without my wonderful co-host, in which he sits next to me, the man Xander Cook.
Hey, everybody.
We're on our way to 100 episodes. It's going to be grand. It's going to be a whole big old great time. And today we're also joined by somebody who's here to help us make up for last week's terrible audio. Jason Mays is back again this week.
Hello.
And so yes, I mean, right up front, apologize for the audio issues from the last episode with the three of us and Tia Bailey.
Learning the new mixer on the fly was
Yeah, we bought a new mixer on the day, and I was afraid this was gonna happen because I was like, I brought my interface, and Xander's fucking piece of shit new MacBook, was
didn't
too,
work with your 6-year-old interface.
It was
or
too
whatever.
new for my interface. That's literally worked with every computer I've ever plugged it into.
Oh my god.
And we're like, fuck, we need to go buy a mixer. We've been putting it off for months and months, and I was like, okay, well, we can do that, but we're not going to know how to fucking work it, so the audio is going to sound like shit. And the whole time, I take most responsibility because I was the one trying to run the audio on that episode, and, everybody sounds pretty alright except me. It's like whenever I come in, I fucking just peek out everything.
Oh, there's something to that.
Yeah, well, no, because, I thought I had set mine quieter than everybody else's.
Oh.
Because everybody else was set to a distance, and I had mine in my hand.
Uh-huh.
So I thought I had set mine quiet enough that I could hold it.
You were getting all stand up with it.
Yeah, oh, dude, for sure, dude. I was getting my bits in. Yeah.
No shame, dude.
But yeah,
It's
if
a
you
punk
sat,
rock track,
if you sat through that podcast, I really appreciate it. But yeah, so Jason's back.
We had another day of filming. That was fun.
We had another day of.
Did we talk much about the show on the last one, or
a little bit?
Talked a little bit about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool, man. That Strymon pedal sounds crazy.
Yeah, they reviewed a Strymon pedal. That was tight.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. Because high key, if I'm being honest, I wrote a script and I was like, okay, these are the points that you need to hit.
Why did you bring it with you?
Because I left it on my iPad. And when I went home, I originally, because I texted Xander and I was like, hey, I left my wallet at home. I'm gonna go back and grab it real fast. And I was halfway here.
Damn.
And I was just the thing is because my brake light was out, and I was like, I gotta stop and fix that because being black, you don't want to get pulled over.
You've been having a pattern lately too.
So when I went home and got my wallet, I left, and when I was halfway there, I was like, I'm forgetting something. And I was like,
damn,
fuck.
for a second
I hate that
time.
feeling.
Yeah. I was
That's
like, well, I ain't driving back again.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, no,
You did fine.
I just, for my Nothing But Nelson videos, I can't shoot them without a script, or else they'll be, 1,000,000 minutes long.
Uh-huh.
I even one that, I knew was going to take a while, that I'm sure I'm probably still going to be working on when this comes out. I wrote it, and it was I think, on, 24 font, it was 12 pages, and then I blew it up to be able to read it in front of the camera, and it just kept going, and it took an hour and a half to record this video.
Every page is
Oh my God.
3 words.
Yeah, and I'm just well, I'm glad I wrote a script, because if I would have just bullet pointed everything, because the video, spoilers, shock, surprise, surprise, it's about Dragon Ball Z games, and
I'm excited
I'm
for this
talking
one.
about a lot of them, and so it was okay, I gotta actually write notes about all of these games, because I went way back, from before I was even alive.
Did you do Ultimate Battle 22?
Fuck that game, dude. Fuck that whole game, dude.
I was gonna say,
I mentioned in the video that that was the first Dragon Ball Z game that I owned, and by the time I owned it, Budokai was already out.
Oh God!
And I had played it, and then my fucking older brother thinks oh, I got some cool ass shit. I got this Japanese Dragon Ball Z game, Ultimate Battle 22, and it's this 2D fucking stroked out fucking. Oh God, that game.
The thing that's funny about that game is the character models don't look that bad, but everything else looks horrendous.
They have the Japanese audio on it, so it's God.
Oh shit! Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah.
Masako, like I
They're all
have a she
high-pitched.
is my Goku.
That's
but I have
fine.
a story for that.
That's
a-
fine,
a
but like in a video game, I'm so used to like fucking you know, shit like that.
Yeah.
So it's like
You want it to
when
sound
it's-
tough and strong.
Yeah, when you have
know?
like fucking Goku, like fucking, you know, pound 69 in somebody, and it's like, yeah! You're like, wow, all right, I just
Somebody's
lost
Goku.
this game to my older brother beating me with a child. I hate it.
I think that's like a derivative of the dubs versus subs conversation.
Dude,
where it's
I was in,
whichever
like-
one you grew up on,
See,
right?
I was
No,
in like
I-
the third grade, and I just wanted to play Budokai.
See,
and that's all I wanted.
kind of venture onto both of those topics. Like I think it like for me because I started with Ultimate Battle 22. No, I started with Final Bout, and that
Dude,
was
Final Bout was good.
it
That
was
the fucking,
horrendous.
the one, no, that was the one on Dreamcast.
No, it
right?
was on PlayStation 1, and it was GT Goku.
Dude,
and,
yeah,
and
it was like super polygonal, but it was pretty good.
I don't know. It was slow as shit. And keep in mind, I'm coming from a Tekken background. Tekken and Street Fighter, like those are the hills I will die on.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, I'm all about Tekken.
yeah,
I love
Tekken
that
and Street
shit.
Fighter are my two fighting games. Like
Yeah.
but I remember playing that, and then it's just like, crap, who's his name? Famous voice actor, not like super famous. He plays Spike in Cowboy Bebop. I
Oh,
can't
the
remember
guy
his-
who did the Toonami voice.
Yeah,
Guy's
he's
awesome. I
actually
don't remember his
playing
name either, but-
Goku, and it's the weirdest thing ever.
That's-
Because his Goku sounds like a Digimon character, which is funny because he
Well,
voiced a couple Digimon.
Yeah, he's,
Yeah.
And
he's
it's
done
just
all
like-
of
I
that.
was like, oh man, why is this like? And you know, it threw me off because the one cool thing about video games and anime is like I like figuring out voices because I'm like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Because it's like each voice actor that's really good in my opinion is very distinct.
Mm-hmm.
And in that game, I was like, man, maybe they should have just left this game as like just subbed it because
Right.
it's like the voice cast is like Vegeta just sounds. If you ever watch like I forget the
See, I don't-
Portuguese dub,
Oh,
like
fuck.
that's
Yeah.
how he sounds in that game.
See, I don't
So,
remember the
didn't use
audio
the
from
normal-
that game, but
No,
like,
because this was before they had the license, I believe, to use like the Funimation cast.
Wait, no,
because
yeah,
it was
Final-
still Bandai.
Final Bout came
Okay.
out in '96. Think about that.
Well, see, that is just jarring in general.
Final
like,
Bout came out in '96.
But you know what I remember about Final Bout too is like it was a very rare game.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough to pick it up early on because I was just a
That's
Dragon
cool.
Ball fan as
Oh,
a
I got
kid.
it super late, dude.
And
Yeah.
but the thing was, it's just like and this goes back to about GameStop as well. But I remember looking on eBay and seeing prices for that game going like $300. But
Uh-huh.
GameStop, we'll give you $10.
Oh boy.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
no, like Final Bout was another one on the way before I was able to just play Budokai. Like I got Ultimate Battle 22, I was like, fuck this. Do you guys hate me? Why are you giving me this game? And then I got Final Bout and I was like, you're so close. Just give me a PlayStation 2. And then like by the time I was like gonna get it, Budokai 2 was already coming out.
Yeah.
And so I rented it from Blockbuster and was just like, you know, like it's like I got it, but I know the next one's already here.
Yeah.
And then you guys are gonna think my family hates me because like the Christmas that Budokai 2 came out, and I still fucking hold my mom to this. I will never let her forget.
I've got
this.
similar moments.
She bought my older brother Matt Budokai 2 for PlayStation 2. And for me, I got an Usher CD.
I mean,
I got Confessions.
is there a Usher version of Rock the Dragon? I probably don't think there is.
No, there's
Like,
not.
How did that happen? Like was there? I mean, what kind of mixed signal you go from like, hey,
You know what, Jason? I don't know. And I still ask my mom to this day, and she's like, "Well, you know, you were like just getting into singing back then." And I was like, "And
That's really
I don't
fucking
give a
funny to me.
shit about singing if there's video games. Like I was singing because I wanted attention,
Yeah,
you know, as a
yeah,
young
yeah.
lad. And so it's like, don't give me an Usher CD like I'm gonna study it. Like
Right.
the fuck, you know,
That's so
like I'm a
fucking funny to
child.
were you like when she gave this to you, mother? This is my confession.
I looked at it and was just like, thanks. You know, like it was like, you know, I wouldn't have my heart broken for the first time until I was like 15 or 16, but that was the first crack. That was like a cling, like in there, and
I can imagine.
But it's like, because it was my mom, and she did everything else right for Christmas that year. You know,
so funny,
but it's
man.
like when it comes to like the like,
Just
you
the
know,
one thing.
Yeah, and I'm like, fucking.
The closest thing I have to that is one Christmas I got. We had only had the original Nintendo, and I would loved it at the time. You know, I was like a little kid, and I opened up my first Christmas gift, and it's a fresh copy of Shaq Fu for the Super Nintendo, right? Which is notorious for being like the worst game.
I
ever,
know.
and that's beside the point.
Wow.
So fucking, I'm like, oh my god, a Super Nintendo game. One of these gifts has got to be a Super Nintendo. My parents aren't fucking stupid.
Wait a second.
My older sister unwraps her brand new Sega Genesis with like Sonic the Hedgehog and the Lion King game, and I've got my Super Nintendo cartridge.
Jesus, dude, fucking.
So like, and my birthday is in May, so it's like the other end of the year, you know.
Rough.
So finally on my birthday, I got Shaq Fu for Genesis, and I got to finally play it.
So
and
you
it was
didn't even get the
worst.
Nintendo.
There was no Super Nintendo.
It's like, hey, you guys don't want to return this?
I just,
Oh my
that's
god.
just how that happened. And
See, did your sister do the thing where she was like, "Well, this is mine"?
she
So-
was pretty big on that.
See,
She
that's
kept
the
the
thing.
Genesis in her room, but she would let me come in and play it. You know what I mean?
See,
Like,
my brother was
Yeah.
like, "Budokai 2, that's my
That's my
game," and I'm
game.
like,
I'm the big brother. I'm territorial.
And so
Yep,
it's like
yep,
the
yep.
only time I would get to play it was when his friends were over.
Yeah.
And it's like they were all already playing it together. So when I came in,
So they were
I'm
just bringing you in to embarrass
to
you.
just fucking just slap me around in this game.
Sons of bitches.
Yeah, yeah, it was fucked, man. All right, I've
Little
been in
brother life
pain
is hard,
forever.
man. Little
all
brother
right.
life sucks.
No, that's the thing. I mean, I'm an older brother now.
Yeah, well,
And
you're
I
both. Yeah,
still
middle
hate
brother.
it.
Middle.
Like-
I'm telling you.
Yes, I'm essentially a middle child.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like.
You know, these stories remind me of that episode of The Simpsons where Bart Simpson stole what was it, blood something?
Yeah.
And
Bloodsport or
yeah,
something. and
Bloodsport
it's
or
like,
something like that, and then Marge got him that golf game.
It's like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
oh, you like
exactly
video
what-
games, so here you go.
You want to know what's fucked up about it? Whenever I'd go hang out with my brother and his friends, because like I wanted to play video games, and like he had this one friend who was like super big on that shit, so he was like getting them like super early, and so I'd go hang out with them, and like that was like the only time I get to play like modern shit, and they were like, man, your brother's the fucking golden boy. Like I got whatever I wanted, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys, man? They're like fucking like trying to get my older brother to like talk shit to me, like fucking he's doing all this stuff, he fucking gets everything he wants. What'd you get? And I'm like, you got fucking Budokai 2 for Christmas, all right? I got
the fun
Usher.
game.
I am not the golden boy, you know.
Oh man.
And so it's like, in spite of that, I grew up to be the golden boy, and god damn it, if I
Against all odds.
yeah, god damn it, if I'm not proud to say that.
Now you can
I'm
play
just-
Budokai whenever you want.
I
to.
mean, yes,
Yeah.
that, and I'm doing financially better than all of my siblings. So
it's always kind of nice.
Now
suck
you-
it.
See, well, that's the interesting thing for me is like as far as Budokai goes, because I remember getting Budokai 1, and I just remember the intro being like, holy crap, this is Rock the Dragon.
Dude.
And then I remember playing the game, and I was like going through story mode, and it's just like, oh,
Did you
man.
ever that fucking Raditz level where
Oh,
you have
yeah.
to fucking hold the fucking tail
Yeah.
straight so you can shoot him? And it's like, literally, that's the hardest part of the game.
It's wild.
Nothing else in that game is that hard.
So that's when I wasn't as big of a Dragon Ball Z fan, because this is a fucked up thing about growing up in Salt Lake City. There was no Comedy Central or Cartoon Network on basic cable, and it had something to do with just because everyone who runs everything in that city is Mormon, like those two channels were forbidden, you know?
That's where all the best stuff was.
Right, exactly. So
It's
like
all
that
this stuff.
Yeah, so I got no Dragon Ball Z, I got no Toonami, I didn't have it. And my buddies and I were really into Marvel vs. Capcom and
Oh.
Soul Calibur and Tekken at the time.
See, I had Marvel vs. Capcom 1 on PS1, and I
Hell
love
yeah.
that game.
I have a Dreamcast that doesn't work, and I have the disc for Marvel vs. Capcom 1. It's like there's a
Yeah.
part of me that will not let me let go of those two things, because it's just like, god damn it, one day I'm gonna play this game again.
Yeah.
But So we played Budokai at like GameStop or whatever one time. It was like, this is fucking sick, but do we have time for one more fighting game series? It was just like, because we were like,
yeah, you were past it.
being,
Yeah.
we were in the suburbs and not uncomfortable, and we still would like pitch in to buy one game for like 4 friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
See, I don't know. As a kid, I would say I got smart because I grew up very poor.
Yeah.
So my family, as a wee young kid, I was like, hey, I have to make Sonic 3 or Sonic and Knuckles last for like a year.
As
I-
long as
Yeah.
possible, yeah, dude.
So as I became a teenager, I was like, you know what games last a long time? JRPGs and horror
Oh,
games,
dude, yeah.
or survival horror. which,
that was like a major selling point back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you'd be like reading the box of a Final Fantasy ripoff, and it'd be like 5 discs, 300 hours of gameplay.
Oh, man,
You're
that was
like-
back when Final Fantasy games were good.
yeah, back when they were still like awesome.
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
man.
See, well, put it like this. That's a different discussion because there are certain Final Fantasy games that I think after 9 that are, I think they're okay.
They
I
got
don't
that's
think
when
they're-
they got hit or miss, though.
Yeah,
You know what
they
I
were
mean?
very hit or miss.
Like I think 12 was pretty good.
12 is actually really good.
and,
It's just I
uh,
think the story is in comparison, especially with the
well, it's
the
just
villain.
Star Wars.
Yeah, Star Wars is a bit underwhelming because it's just
Oh, boy.
like for the several other Final Fantasies
Ow.
before that, they had you like taking on villains like even like Kefka, Sephiroth, like Ultimecia, like and
Kefka like gave me emotional trauma when I
Yeah.
was a teenager. Like
And
the
then-
shit that he does, poisoning that town.
yeah,
You're
it's just like
what?
it's like this is a kids game.
Wasn't it in like 10-2 that you have to like just fight your evil boyfriend or something?
Yeah, that was 10 too.
10
See,
got
10.
weird.
I know everybody loves 10, but 10 was the first one that I could
No,
not.
that's
fully
where
get
that's
into.
where it
That's-
started going.
Same here. I was like, there's something about this that doesn't feel right.
because
to
I
me.
was
Like,
upset
you know,
about 10-2 because like that was like my dad like got me that for my birthday like and it came with like a fucking like big ass like game manual and all
Uh-huh.
this stuff and I was like, oh shit, because like I'd always
this
know,
game
just-
must be so important.
Yeah,
and
like
epic.
I like
Yeah.
would step in and out on Final Fantasy games like my brother and his friends, but like that was the first one that like I got like that's me, dude, and I put it in, and I'm just like
Yeah, that's not a good first one.
Yeah,
That's definitely not a good
I think
first
the
one.
thing for me with 10 was just like I'm very big on the battle systems, and
Yeah.
I did not like the sphere grid. That is 10. That is
Yeah.
10, the sphere grid. But then
Especially
the
coming after,
puzzles,
like 9 was so straight up
Yeah.
and good.
Yeah.
Like, that's just oh man.
and like the
I never
thing,
finished that one.
like and the thing with 10 was just like like where you have to do those fucking puzzles like in those dungeons, and it's just like it's clear that it's not like thought out.
If
It's just
anybody-
like copy
yeah.
and paste, just harder.
if
Yeah.
anybody has seen me and Xander play Spider-Man on our fucking gaming channel, IndiCon Games, I'm always plugging this shit all day, every day. That's what I do. That's why I'm at the head of the table. We all eat here. I fucking hate puzzle shit. We had to fucking play some like puzzle type shit, like in the fucking Spider-Man game where like you have to do these like Doctor Octopus levels
Yeah.
and like the fucking MJ levels. That game, oh
Man.
no, thinking about that game now.
And the way they
hurts.
try to sell it is so bad because, like, you played that game.
Oh yeah.
When you're in,
I got a story about that
When you're
game.
in Doc Ock's lab, you're just doing those really easy little math
making the
maze
jack off arm
things.
thing.
It's
And
like
then the
this could
circuit
just be a
thing.
cutscene, dude. This could
Dude,
just be a cutscene.
Yeah.
The first time we got to that circuit thing, like it was just like we both just stopped. Like, wait, what are we doing? We have to do math right now? What the
action
fuck?
game. What the
See, well,
fuck?
that's the thing. Like, I didn't hate the puzzles as much. The
Yeah.
parts that I hated were the Miles and Mary Jane part because it
Yeah.
just slowed
Oh,
everything down.
I
Yeah,
just
that's-
stopped
it-
playing those parts.
That's
after
big in
a
our
while.
video. Yeah,
Yeah,
like, I had to
but then
take
on the
over.
flip
yeah.
side, Miles redeemed himself with Miles Morales, which I bought that for PS4 because the PS5. I'm sure that's a
Yeah, I
discussion
heard it
we'll get
was.
to.
I heard it was pretty good.
Well, I played a little bit of it, but my DLC for whatever reason was fucked up because I was just like, I want to play Into the Spider-Verse. So I entered the DLC on my PlayStation app on my phone, and when I went to download it, it was like, why isn't this costume downloading? Like, that's what I want.
So
Damn.
wait, is Miles Morales on PS4?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
on
we-
PS4.
Yeah. Did you not know that?
See, okay, so let's just get into this right now. Then, why the fuck would you buy a
I
PlayStation
don't
5
know,
right now?
dude. I don't know.
I don't
people-
understand.
It's kind of like I think people buy a PS5 because it's a new thing. It's kind of like
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
scarcity.
It's just to
'Cause-
be the first one to have the new thing.
Which for me with Sony,
But-
typically outside of the PlayStation 1 and maybe the PlayStation 2, I always like the revisions better.
Yeah.
Because it's like this
That's-
smaller, compact, and more efficient.
That's kind of the thing. That's kind of how it's been like since the Xbox generation, and that's I even did that with the Switch. I waited a year because it's like you know they're gonna
Yeah.
iron out some cracks. You know there's gonna be problems with the first batch. You've already seen guys posting about their PS5s breaking down
Yeah.
and doing weird
Fucking
shit.
Xboxes are fucking on
I mean,
fire.
what did you
dude.
expect from the 360 with the red ring of death?
Oh,
It's like-
Right.
Yeah, it's like, how do you guys buy an Xbox product after that?
And to me,
Like,
the only
fucking-
reason you would buy a console and not a kick-ass gaming PC is because the exclusive games are worth playing
Yeah.
enough that you can make up for it. Like, you can't just. Well,
But
you
then
can.
again, most
with
exclusive
hacking and
games get
piracy,
PC releases now.
but That's kind of
Yeah.
exactly my like. That's I got the Nintendo because it's like that's the only place I can play Mario and not be pirating it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well,
and,
see,
and so
to kind of add to that, I think for me, because God knows how long it's going to be an exclusive for, but one of the reasons that I am buying a PlayStation 5 later on down the road is because of Final Fantasy 16, and it
That
actually
looks
looks
pretty
yeah,
good.
and
That
that,
one-
looks
that's
like
funny. This has
Yeah.
this
But-
conversation has a nice rhythm to it.
yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
thought-
and
yeah,
like,
we-
but like right now, like I honestly, for me personally, I'm just gonna keep playing these games because like once
Yeah.
they said that the Mass Effect remaster was coming out on
That's
PlayStation
gonna
4,
be sick.
I was like, all right, well I'm in. Like I was like, I know, like because I spent so many hours with that game,
Yeah.
and God knows I hated the fucking the driving little levels on Mass Effect 1. So I'm like,
Oh,
please
boy.
just rip that out. But who knows?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they just started next gen early, and I think they picked an interesting year because neither company was like, "Hey, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Maybe people are,
They were
with
just
the
like,
unemployment
"Fuck
rate
it."
being what it is. Maybe we should pull these back."
No, people have been hoarding their fucking unemployment checks just to get a fucking PS5.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's-
that's a
it-
fucked up thing, but it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, look at our government where you make more on unemployment than you do working. So I mean, what does that say about
That's
capitalism?
I have no problems with that.
Yeah.
That's a problem with the businesses, not the.
yeah,
not-
no, exactly.
Currently living it.
Yep.
But that's,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think honestly, one thing about the PlayStation 5 I just cannot get behind is the design. Like,
It looks
it looks
dumb
so
as
goofy.
fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
It looks real goofy, man.
Yeah. And I was
I
just
like my
like-
just plain black rectangles.
yeah,
you know?
just,
Yeah.
Like, just give us a like. And the thing is, they've done some renders, or like some people have done some renders of making it all black, and it looks a lot better.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
the
it
all
would,
black
yeah.
versions
Yeah.
do look way better.
But I don't know. For me, I'm just like, yeah, I'll wait till it's a bit smaller and doesn't look like a 2000 modem.
And
Dude, yeah, you remember-
$500 is that's a big bite.
They
for it.
fucking turned the
Yeah.
PlayStation 2 into like a fucking DVD player.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
made it so
Crazy.
small in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was 2 decades ago. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
I mean, but Sony always has a habit of doing that. That's
Yeah,
all.
yeah, yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
they do. You know, like with the PlayStation 3, there was PlayStation. No, with the 3 and the 4, there was 3 revisions.
Yeah, no, I've got 2 different PS3s. Like one that's got the weird like slidey thing over
Yeah.
it.
The Spider-Man PS3.
Yeah, and then the one that you put like I got one that like that you slide the thing over, which is like a super weird one. Like that always weirds me out whenever I do that. Like I'm like, what the fuck? Like it's weird. My girlfriend's dad just like gave it to me one year. Like I thought like I was like, okay, you know, because fucking the PS4 had just come out and like. He was like asking me, and they're like, "Do you guys want like a PS4 or like a Switch or like what?" And I was like, "You're not my dad. You don't have to get me anything for Christmas." You know, like fucking do not. And like so,
But if you do.
yeah.
But
It's just
if-
like but like I was like, if you do, I know your brother's getting you a big ass TV. So if you want to give us that old one, I will take that.
yeah, I had
Yeah.
no problems with hand-me-downs. dude.
Yeah,
I
so
think
he,
TVs are
he
hand-me-down,
gave
yeah.
us his old TV that was fucking huge because he got a bigger one. He got her a Switch, and then he gave me like a fucking PS3 with like a bunch of games. I was like, I already have a PS3 and a bunch of games. It's like, well, now you've got another one and more.
Now you got spare parts.
That's pretty much
recently-
the only reason I kept it. Yeah.
As of recently, I want to say a few months ago, because I was looking for a PlayStation 2, and to know some people are like, why? Because there are certain games
Just
on
get a
there.
gaming PC, dude.
Well, here's the thing. My friend Garrett, who's an amazing photographer, by the way, I'm plugging him. I don't care. And basically, he gave me his PS2, and it was this thin silver one.
Oh,
And
dude,
I was
cool.
like,
Yeah.
holy crap, this is awesome. So I got an HDMI upscaler, and I've just been playing, which is funny because I got that because I had Mega Man Anniversary Collection,
Yes.
and I had Sonic the Hedgehog Collection. And
Yes.
I was just like,
I got the Sonic one. Yeah.
See, and the thing is, what people don't realize, the Sonic Collection on anything PS3 and up will not let you play Sonic and Knuckles and 3 combined.
That's weird.
That came out as a. I got Genesis Classics for Switch because it had Sonic 2 on it. And I thought that would be that. There's no 3 and there's no Knuckles.
Exactly.
So then they then released Sonic and Knuckles 2 as a whole separate game for like $9. I'm like, you sons of dumb.
Wait, so you were going back
That's cool.
and you were
though,
going
yeah.
through PS2 games.
Yeah, like because there was a couple PS2.
So
like,
is this guy.
I've been doing that for. I've been doing that
We are
for.
kindred spirits.
fucking
dudes, I'm telling you. I've been trying to get
months
you
now.
guys in the same room for a while.
Because
that's-
honestly, the PS3 remaster of Silent Hill sucks ass.
Oh,
We've been
yeah.
down that road. Silent Hill 2 and 3
they
sucks
got
ass.
rid of the fog.
Yeah,
I mean,
they
there's-
changed the voice actors, so
man.
it's like, all right, well, I like my original, and it's like also they didn't remaster Silent Hill 4, thankfully.
Another Konami game. There's a not Requiem of the Night.
Mhm.
I almost said Requiem for a Dream, which is a whole other thing.
I mean, I've
That'd be a fun
been
video.
playing
yeah,
that.
right. But I downloaded it just for that one fucking. I wanted to play it, but I wanted to hear the monologue where Dracula says, "What is a man? A miserable pile of secrets." And they changed that line. What?
Yeah.
What? And then, oh
Is
my
a
god,
man.
Nintendo just did it with fucking Mario 64 remake.
Oh
When
yeah.
you throw Bowser, he doesn't say "So long, gay Bowser" anymore.
Yeah.
Of course, he's not gonna say that. Nintendo's a family company.
Yeah. Come on. Come on.
Come on, they said it has to do with it didn't translate to Japanese or something like that, but it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah. No, I've been.
So
I've
long,
been.
gay Bowser. It's
been
the
going
fucking
through
best.
like since I got my fucking PC, I fucking realized like I wanted to like stream my PlayStation 3 because like I was just getting back into those games, and I realized I couldn't stream my PS3, and I almost just threw it out a window because I was just like, well, what the fuck are video games good for if people can't watch me play them, so dude, my PS3 gets the least love of anything nowadays just because
Yeah.
I can't plug it into my computer.
I'm-
It's so
I'm kind of in the same boat, especially because I was playing my PS3 just for Mass Effect. Really, that was the game that kept me going. And then after I found out about this remaster, I was just like, all right, well, PS3, you might be retired to the bedroom, like
Dude,
or
yeah.
to the closet. But one thing I was gonna say, I don't know. Part of the reason I keep the PS2 around is because a lot of the remasters and HD collections on PS3 for those games are severely crippled. Like the Metal Gear Solid HD collection, which what was the second one called? Like the second re-release of that, I want to say it was Subsistence or Substance or something like that.
dude, I didn't play enough
Well,
Metal Gear.
well, Metal Gear 2 and 3 on the PlayStation 2 came like they re-released them with added content. So, and it was on a separate disc. Like on Metal Gear Solid 3, it came with the original Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2.
So it was like a 2-disc type
Yeah.
thing. Oh shit.
So when they released the HD collection, they advertised it as those games, but it's missing the second disc, like the second
what
content.
the fuck?
So it's just like, I was like, why are you going to call this Subsistence or Substance or whatever the fuck it is? And it's not the whole game. But
Yeah, that's like the fucking Final Fantasy VII remake. Like when I realized that it wasn't all of Final Fantasy VII, I was like, wait, so what the fuck is? Why are you guys even playing?
See,
It's not the whole
I
game.
have a theory on that game.
Why? Because they're gonna release the
No,
remastered
no,
second
the-
half so they
the-
can take more of
So
your
you,
money.
so you already played it.
No, fuck no.
So you haven't. So do you mind if I spoil it? Does
I
any-
already watched.
So I
Yeah,
think
it's-
in total Tetsuya Nomura fashion and total Kingdom Hearts fuckery, and we should have seen this coming. We knew that it wasn't going to be a 1-for-1 remake. It's kind of like Star Wars, or not even Star Wars, Star Trek. Yeah, it's kind of like they go back in time, and at first when I heard that they were going to remake it, I was like, and especially after playing it, and some of the little Easter eggs to certain things like Crisis Core and Zack, I was like, oh, this is really cool. So that means Crisis Core is still canon, and
But like,
that game is just like, I guess my thing with that game is it's a sequel. And the thing is, all right, is this going to be like a Devilman thing where we're just in a continuous loop and things change, kind of
Right.
like Neon Genesis, where every game is, or everything in that
God.
franchise is a continuous loop, but certain things change.
You know, it's like this shit annoys me so much, but I almost think it's like, I think it's maybe that I'm just so stupid that I get mad that there are people smart enough that they want that. You know,
Yeah,
that this guy, that Nomura-san would do something so amazing as Final Fantasy VII, and then be like, fucking, yeah, just keep building on it.
Well, see,
just keep building on it.
I
Just keep
told
making
everybody,
it. Yeah.
and I can say this. I told everybody, and I can tell this right now. If Dylan is ever watching this,
Yeah.
I
Dylan.
told everybody. After Kingdom Hearts 3,
Dylan.
After Kingdom Hearts 3, I was worried about the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I was
you
just
know
like,
what?
I don't
Fuck.
know. I was like, it looks awesome, but I don't know. I was like, we're in. I was like,
man.
because Kingdom Hearts 3
It's disappointing.
it's disappointing on so many levels. And then not only that, I was like, the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3, I was like, wait. And we're getting spoiler territory, so I'm sorry if you haven't beat these games.
Oh,
but
I'm sorry
I
you
don't
haven't
give a
beat a
fuck.
game
If they're
that came
over
out
a year
2
old,
years ago.
yeah, if it's
But
over a
just
year old,
like-
it's fair game.
So you have
I haven't played these games either, but they're not.
You're,
Right.
you,
So you have Ansem,
you're not
basically-
going to want to play Kingdom
I
Hearts
will have
3.
forgotten this conversation by the time I get around
So
to
think
it.
of a game that or a series that builds up Darth Vader as the ultimate bad,
Yeah.
and then no, Darth Vader's a bad example. That he's a bad. I'm trying to think of a movie.
Well,
that has
what is
the-
it? Zemnis? Like
Yeah.
they've been
Well, they
Zemnis
build
and
up-
Xenahort and Zehanort and
Like, plus, no, I'll actually use Darth Vader. So they build up Darth Vader as the
Whoa.
ultimate villain. Like, they build up Darth Vader as the ultimate villain, and then he goes off and kills Princess Leia, so you absolutely hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, at the end, he's redeemed. But you're just like, wait, he just killed Princess Leia, and I actually like Princess Leia.
But he
She's-
did that.
Yeah, it's just like so I just spent all, like, this linear-ass game,
Yeah.
super easy, and now this villain who you've hyped up over multiple games
Yeah.
as this ultimate baddie, we're going to redeem him.
Yeah, that doesn't sit right
Yeah.
with
They
me.
did that in, like,
It's like trying to make
fucking-
Sephiroth the good guy.
Yeah.
Can't
well,
do
I don't
that.
know. See, that's the here's the thing. I think
Is
7
that-
Remake is okay, so here's the thing about
They're
7
going to redeem Sephiroth.
Yeah, they're probably
But he's like the devil man.
no, but here's the thing.
They're going to do it to
In-
Kefka.
in,
Turns out he was a nice clown all along.
You're gonna find out Cloud's been the bad guy the whole time.
Actually,
Fucking Cloud.
here's
Oh,
the thing.
fuck you. No, don't tell me that.
No,
oh,
here's
God
the thing.
damn it.
And in this Final Fantasy VII remake, there's 3 versions of Sephiroth, and some people
Yeah, don't you fight him like fucking 17 times?
Well, no, but they're all 3. They're 3. You have the version in that current timeline. You have the one from the past, and then you have the future Sephiroth, which is Advent Children.
So
And, like,
far
the
up
Oh,
Sephiroth
they
Sephiroth.
made
has-
Advent Children canon? Oh, fuck.
Yes and no. I think
Oh,
here's
no.
the thing, because my thing is like there's so much that changed, and I was one of the fans with Final Fantasy VII remake. I was like, okay, this is a totally new thing, and I can accept that. You guys should have just but here's the thing.
Yeah.
You guys should have, rather than advertise it as Final Fantasy VII remake, as in a 1-for-1 remake, just episodic, you should have just called it the fucking sequel.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we know that's not going to generate
Or
as
they
much
could have
money.
called it Final Fantasy VII Remastered instead of.
Well, no, if they
Well,
remastered
if
then
it was
implies-
remastered, I would absolutely expect it to be the original version, just with better graphics.
I wouldn't.
Remake makes me think they're doing something from the ground up that might be fundamentally different.
Okay, all right.
Maybe there's a
Yeah,
translation thing there.
Okay.
and that's something I agree with. And then
Yeah.
the thing is, with,
I'm just bad with words.
Yeah,
no, I
well,
think like the because
I have
after
a
because
podcast.
I put some hours into that Final Fantasy VII remake.
I'm
and
so
I-
sorry.
Yeah, you know, but I guess it speaks.
someone had to.
I guess it speaks volumes when I haven't gone back and replayed it.
Yeah.
But I got to the end and I was just like, holy shit! Like, don't get me wrong, as a fan of Final Fantasy VII, I think especially bringing Zack back is a cool idea.
That's
like
cool.
when you're toying around
Because that
with
is big to the plot.
yeah, well, not only that, but I hate to say, he's actually more likable than Cloud.
Sure.
'Cause,
Well, Cloud,
Cloud's
there's so many things to complain about Cloud as
See-
a character.
see,
It's
the
like
thing is-
he was such a '90s hero because it was all about angst and bitchiness.
Him and fucking Leon
I
from
didn't-
Resident Evil both.
see,
dude,
I
like,
didn't. No, wait,
they're both just fucking.
More so Cloud, but yeah.
I'll touch on Squall because he's my boy.
Yeah.
But I'll touch on him in a little bit.
I had a
but-
feeling you were a Final Fantasy VIII guy.
Oh, I love 8.
Don't tell me
8
why.
is my favorite.
You like Radiohead, so you must like Final Fantasy VIII. I don't know why
It's
those are
sad as
connected
shit.
in my brain,
Is
but
that-
they are.
It's Final Fantasy VIII is sad as shit, and your radio is sad as shit. I'm
Oh.
a sad individual. But But like
I
the
should
thing
probably
with
play
Cloud,
Final Fantasy VIII. I should probably see what that's
good.
about.
It's a
I'm
good
gonna
game.
say the thing with
Yeah.
Cloud. I was okay with Cloud in the original Final Fantasy VII because his character arc was concluded, and he
Yeah.
wasn't the same Cloud that you start
It
as.
made sense in the
Because it was a
context.
full game.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
but then we go to Advent Children, and he's emo Cloud again, and I'm like, you motherfucker, you got
Why?
over, you got over
Why?
Aerith's
Yeah.
death.
That movie was another disappointing
Oh
Christmas
yeah,
gift.
the best thing about that movie was Vincent, and then even then his role was super
Well,
reduced.
because they were trying to sell the Vincent shooting game,
Yeah.
The thing is, it's
which
like
sucked.
No, that game sucked.
it's weird because I got it for Christmas and I watched it and like I was so like I guess high on Christmas that I was like, oh yeah, because it looked good.
Yeah.
And you know, an hour and a half goes by, it's over. I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then like fucking, you know, like a week later, I'm like, well, I'm showing it to my friend, like, hey, look at this thing I got, and we're watching it. And
Yeah.
he's like, I can see his face being like, whoa. And I am thinking the same thing, like, wait a second, this is
The
this
action
is a
scenes in that
bad
movie are so far removed from anything that happens in the game that it
It
just
had nothing to do.
I
Here's-
could like it's all
here's-
superhero shit. They're like flying through
Dude,
the
yeah,
air,
like,
getting
whoo,
knocked against things,
phew,
and it's like
wow.
this.
It was
yeah,
like
it-
literally.
Hot take: The Spirits Within was a better movie than
Oh,
Advent
but
Children.
that
we
one was so-
we almost did a
That
whole
was a shit
podcast about
movie.
how bad the Spirits Within
No, the Spirits
was.
Within
Oh
was
my
a shit
god!
movie, but Advent Children.
No,
like, no, the
it's
thing,
worse than Advent Children
No,
because it's
no,
longer than
no,
Advent
no.
Children.
that I'll give you on that premise.
And Alec
but here-
Baldwin's in it
here's-
for some reason.
But here's the thing with Advent Children. Advent Children makes no fucking sense.
Well, yeah,
like
well-
even from a final.
Spirits
No,
Within.
Spirits Within, but Spirits Within is his own thing.
I'll put
it's
it-
not a continuation.
I'll put it like this: if I want to watch a Final Fantasy movie, I want to watch Advent Children because it has Final Fantasy characters.
yes.
I'll agree with that. I will agree with that.
The Spirits Within is just like a movie by
Well-
people who had something to do with Final
Well,
Fantasy.
Here's
Like,
my thing or my take.
Yeah.
Dirge of Cerberus should have been the movie because
Yeah.
plot wise it was actually pretty decent. Although it makes you wonder because it's like with Vincent being Chaos and Chaos being the harbinger of
Doom.
no,
I
it was something
yeah,
like whatever the big thing was, big final weapon was. It makes you wonder. It's like so Vincent all along was more powerful than Sephiroth, and he's an optional character. But beyond that,
Yeah, there's a lot of weird shit going on
but
there.
beyond that, it was
yeah.
a better story than Advent Children, and I feel like Advent Children should have just been the game. Like, just give people what they want.
People would be really mad if Advent
No,
Children
but
was
that's
a
the thing.
game.
Yo,
think
if it was
Advent-
like an Advent Children epic Final Fantasy fighting game,
What, with like all the characters in it?
think Final
what-
Fantasy VII Budokai.
So Jump Force.
yeah. Well, I think Advent Children.
Yes.
Similar, yeah.
If you retooled Advent Children and changed some of the plot points, it
Okay.
would work a lot better as a game than it does as a movie.
Yeah.
But that's just been my opinion over the years because it's like every time I watch Advent Children, I'm like, so Sephiroth came back, but he's not really Sephiroth,
It's not
and
him,
Cloud
and
beat him again.
what-
So you're kind of turning him into like
yeah.
80s Megatron, where he gets beaten every fucking episode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Cloud comes back and he's gonna beat him again, and he's
Yeah.
got all his buddies with him. All the
really-
guys
it
are
really-
here. Look
yeah.
at the guys. Look
It
at
just, I honestly, when I watched it, my thing was, I felt like they were like, well, everyone kind of knows who these characters are. Not everyone finished this game. Not everyone knows this plot. A lot of people, like, this just happened to me recently when I tried to replay the whole Final Fantasy VII, and I got to the part right before I knew Aeris was going to die, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to play a happy game, and then you know how you don't play an RPG for a while, you lose the plot. It's like
Yeah.
when you put a bookmark in a book and then don't touch it for 3 months, you have to start over. It's kind of like that.
Dude, I'm gonna have to start
but
over
That's how
Persona
I feel like-
4.
Xenogears.
Yeah, that's epic too.
I gotta start over Persona 4 because I haven't played it. In
Yeah,
like
but
4
but I
months.
feel like Advent Children was them just being like, this is how in 90 minutes we make everyone love these characters by making them look like fucking superheroes.
And they were wrong.
Yeah, and it had like the opposite effect. Everyone
Yeah.
just watched it like, that's not
yeah,
that's not why I like them.
I will
You
give
know
you
what I
that.
mean?
It did, everybody was like,
Like it's like if they did
Ew.
an Avengers movie starring the cast
But
of
the
Friends.
thing is-
And
which
it's
is
like
it's weird to say people were like ew at this movie because it's visually stunning.
It looks
the
great.
most likable characters had the least screen time, like Sid and Vincent. And it's just like, oh, that's Sid. He's cussing a storm up, and he's just like,
they were just like cameos in
Yeah.
that movie, and
They
that's
were
not how
just
they
They,
treat
they
them.
really were just
Yeah.
cameos in that fucking
And it was
movie.
just like, I don't know. I think,
But at least they had cameos from Final Fantasy characters in that movie.
And
See,
not
it's-
Alec Baldwin,
see, but
military
that's,
man.
That's the thing. I think the reason why I like the Spirits Within because it followed the mythos of being its own Final Fantasy, and I think for me as a
Okay.
Final Fantasy fan, that's what I like. Where every story is different until 10-2, where you're forced with sequels. But and that's the thing.
10-2 was a bad spin-off. 10-2 was the Joey of the Final Fantasy games, if you ask me.
I hated the battle system of 10, but I liked the battle system of 10 too.
No, it was fun. It was fun. Like, it was a fun game to play.
But story-wise, it's
no, it's fun and it goes on forever. But if you do stick to the story, you're gonna be just like, what? No, this is dumb. Like, it reminds me of like a Ratchet and Clank game, but without the fun, because you're like constantly going from planet to planet to planet to system or whatever, doing all this fucking busy work and doing all these little fight scenes. And it's like once you get to a big thing, you're like, oh, okay, cool, this is fun, and you almost forget that you've just been running around for 2 hours doing so much like stupid shit. Because like, you just watch me play Ratchet and Clank. It's like you go to a planet, you fuck the shit up, you fucking hop back on your ship, and you're out.
Yeah.
But this game, you're fucking there for like a whole goddamn time. Then you gotta go to another one. Then you gotta go back there, and it's just like, fuck.
See, Final Fantasy X-2 I summarize as depressing moment. Yuna goes to J-pop, sings a J-pop song, back to depressing moment.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the thing is, yeah, it's such a wasted premise at this point, because they brought Titus back, or Titus,
yeah.
I guess that's the correct, and they brought him back, but
fucking Titus.
and they like with the promise of a new game, and they didn't.
And of all of the Final Fantasy games to get the first like direct sequel, it just felt like, and this is kind of the issue I have in general with the series, is like the fact that they felt the need to add more to Final Fantasy VII besides just upgrading the graphics.
Yeah.
It's just like you're so far up your own ass, because you're sitting on this wealth of great stories that people love already.
They could have remade Chrono Trigger.
You could remake every Square and Enix game from the 80s and 90s with HD graphics and just not even touch the script.
Like Chrono Trigger.
Change the story. Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, fucking Star Ocean. There's so many good properties there.
But that's the thing, what Square
Chrono
pissed
Cross,
me off with, because
Parasite Eve.
Fire
because
Emblem.
if you remember back in the day, they did that with Final Fantasy 3.
Yeah.
They did that with Final Fantasy 4.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, they updated the graphics and they left the script alone.
But
and
that was different.
They didn't suck. That was
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, they just...
But my point is, that's what fans wanted. I think more so, like, and which was funny, because I was hoping they would do that for 6.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, they're going to do that for 6 and Chrono Trigger.
I honestly think they're afraid to touch those games because they're so like revered by a specific group of dudes my age who love those games, and it's like,
but
just
then they
do
could,
it, just make them.
Yeah,
better.
then they could totally like scoop up dudes my age who I'd love to get through all of Chrono Trigger, but I get bored.
Yeah, the
and
16-bit graphics. If you have no nostalgia for them, they're not cool.
I get that.
Also,
I don't care about old games that look bad, but if you can make them look good,
to touch on the point of why, or when you guys mentioned Parasite Eve, it's because they no longer have the license for that game, or I think they just regained it because it was based on a novel.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought it was an original property or whatever.
No, it was based on a novel which released a movie in Japan, and that Japanese movie, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. It's funniest,
It's called Parasite Eve.
Yeah,
That's
I think it's a low budget Japanese horror movie, but it's funny as fuck in certain
Like
scenes.
live action or anime?
The live action.
I love laughing at horror
hell yeah,
movies. I'm
dude.
probably looking this up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But,
that sounds fucking dope.
But they tried to do a sequel that sucked ass, and it was Tetsuo no, and I don't have a problem with him. Like, I feel like give him an original IP.
My only, my problem with him is he's like too smart for normal shit. Like I showed you that Batman design that he did.
Oh yeah,
where it's
dude, that shit was too much.
It's like if the man knew when to hit the brakes, it'd be fine. But he is all gas all the time.
And that's the thing, because I think with Final Fantasy 15, when it was Versus 13, the concept that he had for that game, I was like, okay, this is the game we've been waiting for him to make.
Yeah.
Like, it's its own story. It's gonna go away with the tradition of Final Fantasy, and it's gonna be darker, based in the world. It's just gonna be an anime.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, cool. So they took that away from him, and he was just like, well, no, I'm gonna put this in Kingdom Hearts, and I'm gonna you're gonna see some of this stuff in Kingdom Hearts as a big fuck you to Square or whoever.
Yeah.
And then when you see that stuff, you're like, damn, this could have been a badass game.
I think so much of it is being choked out by corporate culture too. That I think Konami is the best example of that. Like we were just talking about a minute ago. the way they only make like pachinko machines now, and like they treat their game developments like aspect like shit, and they like these are the folks that in the 80s and 90s they brought us Castlevania.
Didn't they
Well,
make Ninja
I think
Gaiden?
the thing too.
Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Oh
I think
wait,
the thing
no,
with-
that was Taito, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they did there's so many good games.
I'm only 25, guys. I
Well,
don't
I think the thing-
Contra was Konami. Fucking Silent Hill was Konami. Like
Yeah,
they
well-
were.
What I was gonna say with Silent Hill, I think when you see the tail end of Konami, like with Silent Hill, the last one that came out of whenever it was, but they gave it to some company in Brazil to make.
Yeah.
And that company had only made one or two
Oh,
games before that.
shit,
And
yeah.
then that game
Outsourcing their
turned- Yeah, and it
shit
turned
and-
out like shit.
Yeah.
And then I think the thing
Like the
they'll-
Castlevania games that came
Yeah.
out on
Well,
N64
okay,
that
but
were
did
just
you
trash.
think it was? Did you think it was worse than the Silent Hill movie?
See, the first Silent Hill movie. Here's the thing: first Silent Hill movie, I don't think is that bad. I put it on the level as Mortal Kombat. Second Silent Hill movie, I think sucks ass.
Wait, they made more than one?
Yeah, they made a 2, and 2 is basically Silent Hill 3.
What?
And the
Same thing
is-
happened with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
The first one was okay. The second one was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that, like, because I think the thing with Silent
What?
Hill, like for me, I was like, okay, because Harry Mason to me always seemed more like a mom looking for his daughter. So I was like, okay, and it's funny because that was one movie you heard no complaints about people like quote unquote gender swapping. Like
I just thought it was a bad movie.
I thought
Sure.
I thought it was true to Silent Hill, and the fact that I thought it was fan service, and the fact that they added like, don't get me wrong, I do think certain things like
Yeah.
I get you want fans in the seat, so you put Pyramid Head in.
But it was used all wrong.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All
Pyramid
the
Head
way
should not have been in
wrong.
that movie.
Yeah.
But I get you want ass in
Pyramid
the
Head
seats.
in that movie is just, oh, look at this scary thing over
Yeah.
here. Better watch out for Pyramid Head.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, Pyramid Head is James Sutherland's sexual repression.
Yeah, but
And,
it's like, nope, he's not. He's just
not
a
in this.
scary guy.
yeah, and like it had the Silent Hill soundtrack, so I didn't. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
You want to know who
Best
they
movie of
do the Silent Hill
2019?
soundtrack?
But
Trent Reznor.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd agree with that. When they put Korn on Silent Hill, I was just like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
No.
That's like when they let ICP do the music for their own wrestling game.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, I think the thing
Yeah, that happened.
was,
Yeah.
I think around that time with Konami, you saw the downfall.
Yeah.
Because then you had something like Metal Gear Solid 5, which was just over bloated and not finished.
Yeah.
And you clearly saw those games just being
Yeah.
like not as
And,
good.
and then they fired what's his name?
Kojima.
Kojima. Yeah, sorry. And fucking yeah, they fired him and then did Metal Gear. Was it Survive? The
Yeah.
trash game that it? Oh my god!
That
Well,
one,
I think it's
that
just
one
a
just
lot of these
completely
companies-
missed me, dude.
I just watched other people playing it. I'm like, there's no reason I would
I
ever.
feel like this Metal Gear Survive is like the Dragon Ball evolution of video games.
There is a Dragon Ball Evolution video game.
No, I know. I'm just saying. If that's the video game equivalent of that movie.
Sorry,
not
it
as
just
into-
it just
I'm
came
not-
back to me when I found that out. I was like, wait, no. What they made a game of the movie, and then the game is like, fuck. I'm not,
Was that the live action Dragon
Yeah,
Ball
and
movie?
they
Oh my
fucking-
god,
they
dude! I
literally
had blocked
just-
that out of my memory. I
they
forgot
literally
that was
just
a
took
thing.
the Budokai like
Holy
like,
shit!
like mocap like models and just put like a shitty 3D rendering of the fucking movie characters in there.
That's
with
terrible.
their terrible costumes. It's just
That's like
like it's so.
that's like Street Fighter the movie, the game.
Oh god. That was a game I had on Sega Saturn.
Street Fighter.
That if you have a Sega Saturn, you need to have that game.
Oh, yeah, it
that
ran
and
like
Sonic
shit.
R. Yeah. Oh
It
my
ran
god.
like
Call
shit.
this episode that Street Fighter the movie the game.
That's where they finally did
IndiCon
Mortal.
podcast, the movie, the show.
They did the
Game.
Mortal
The
Kombat
game.
graphics by digitizing the fucking actors from the movie, and then fucking.
Wait a second. Okay,
So
sorry.
Jean-Claude
go
Van
on,
Damme
go
is
on.
Guile in this game.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Did-
god.
I just had like a fucking full on like brain thing. You play so you played Ultimate Battle 22.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever play Dragon Ball Z Taiketsu?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
See,
I'm not okay.
did
Yeah,
we just become best friends?
because that is Xander, and I shit you not.
Yeah.
I go into it more in this video
Teach me.
about how this is the worst game, and just roasted on its looks alone. Yeah, I think I said it looked like. Hate fucked. And that's how you got that game. Like, it's really bad.
I'm just curious. Like, what would each of you guys say the worst video game you've ever played?
Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. The worst video game I've ever played.
There's a lot of metrics involved with that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just...
One that you absolutely hated. Like...
I got, okay, an old one that I just absolutely hated, but stuck it through, was Dead Rising on Wii.
Yeah, when we did that for Halloween last year, that was pretty
worst.
fucking terrible. That was...
And then I guess a game that I thought I was going to enjoy, but just had no fun with it. Do you remember Heavenly Sword?
Yep.
Yeah.
I was very disappointed.
That was like... PS3 was looking cool, right? It was not one. It was a launch title for PS3,
cool.
right? Yeah.
And then they were like, "Hey, you know how this is a wireless controller?
Man.
You know, what if we made you have to move this controller, kind of like a Wii remote, for this PlayStation 3 game?" And I was like, "Fuck
yeah, that idea never really
you."
worked very well.
Yeah,
even some
it's
new
like
Switch games, like
Disney, fucking Disney's Brave the video game.
Oh my god!
Get the fuck out of here! It was a bad game, and I sold it immediately and got Ninja Gaiden Black.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say this at first, but that game reminded me of a PS2 game called Blood Rain. Do you guys remember that at all?
Dude, yeah,
I
remember Blood Rain.
Like it was.
It's like
You're a sexy vampire chick
lady,
with swords
yeah.
and guns, and the
She
whole
actually got a
game.
movie.
Yeah, and there was a movie based on that because Silent Hill and
Hold
Resident
on,
Evil movies
what's-
were selling. Yeah,
there's a Blood Rain
There is a
movie?
Blood Rain movie,
And it had a sequel.
and I remember renting
There's
that.
two Blood Rain movies?
I'm pretty sure I rented that game the same night I rented Kingdom Hearts for the first time. And so the idea was this will be a stupid bullshit game we play when we're not working on Kingdom Hearts, and it was still
Yeah.
like we played it maybe 15 minutes that night because it had like N64 style fog,
Dude,
and
yeah,
then like
the fucking weird
and, like,
blocky rain.
and
That
all,
was
all the animations were just like her fucking
wow, this movie has
knocking
a
my mic around.
4% on Rotten Tomatoes.
4%.
4%.
Wow. Yeah, but the animations, she would just stand up straight, and then like her
Yeah, it's
arms were moving around, cutting, and then just bad guys would just explode in
Yeah.
the blood. Like everything was a fatality.
It's funny when I started on
oh,
PS2
Yeah, it got a
emulator.
sequel. It got a direct
I said
DVD
like
sequel.
Fuck
the
yeah,
first two
dude.
games I got were Budokai 3 and Blood Rain because they were like right next to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
And I was like, wait, why do I know this game? And I
Yeah.
opened it. And I was like, yep, I remember.
It is
this.
such trash.
This game is.
But that's not what I was gonna say. Just reactively, like one of the worst games that I've played recently was it's a newer game that I got on my Switch. That I downloaded it because I thought it was gonna be kind of like Star Fox, just based on the
shit.
screenshots and the video that I watched. Turns out it's like the first Super Nintendo F-Zero, but way shittier. And there's like a creepy sex fuck overtone. Hold on, let me get the name of it so I can call them out.
While you're looking that up, I'm gonna.
Yeah, what was the worst game? What's the worst game that you've ever played?
Boy,
Weren't ready for that, were you?
no, it wasn't.
Gotcha.
You can't ask a question without
I know,
expecting
I
a
would
counter.
say,
I'm sorry I didn't run that one by your
no.
people. My bad.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Your
fine.
PR
Are we
team
good?
didn't say that was
Cool.
off limits.
I would say Star Wars Masters of Terras Kasi. Like there was, me being a big Star Wars fan. I was just like, all right, this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be cool. And then your first character everybody
Terrakasi,
plays
the
as.
fighting game.
Yeah.
I always wanted to try it.
Shit, that game!
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, the first character everybody
Oh.
plays as is Luke Skywalker.
Uh-huh.
So you pull out your lightsaber and you're just like whacking away at Chewbacca
Yeah.
or whoever, and you're like, wait,
Yeah.
this thing cut off of like an
yeah,
arm.
it's just you're just batting them with
Yeah.
it.
This should be over now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, and I remember I ended up fighting like Lando or somebody. He just did this like weird uppercut and it like knocked me out of the ring, and I'm like, ring out,
Jesus.
and that thing is burned in my mind. I was just like, oh my fucking god. And then it's just
Yeah.
like you're fighting Darth Vader. And then, as a kid, you don't think about those things.
No.
You're like, all right, this is cool. But when you start thinking about it, it's like, why am I going up against Darth Vader? Like, this dude's like...
yeah, it's.
I say that Terras Kasi was a foreshadowing of the Disney trilogy or the Disney Star Wars, but that.
Okay, you know what, buddy.
But
You
we're
don't-
gonna get, if you want to get into that conversation, we
yeah,
can.
all right, because I've gotten into.
All right,
here we go.
so-
Xander, make sure the cameras are working because it's about to get
let,
real.
Let me first so you can reply.
real quick, I found the name of this fucking game. Nirvana Pilot Yume. All right. And
That's a hell of a name.
so yeah, so I'm like, this must be cool because it looks like Star Fox. It must be cool, and it plays like F-Zero, and it has this weird plot where you're like the character you play is like a guy who has psychic powers, and you merge with women who are pilots of race jets to help them race, and there's like weird sex overtones to it, and it's like depending on if you win or lose the race, you have like date sim outcomes where like you might hook up with the pilot that you
I
chose.
remember you told me that game where like once like if you lose to somebody, they like fuck you and you get like a part of them in you.
That
or
was something I
something.
played on the internet.
It was like
years
a different
ago.
game.
That was
Okay,
like a
I had
flash game someone programmed. Where it was like, you got raped by the dick snake. You're growing a dick and over your other dick. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Oh,
that's,
man.
oh my god.
Okay,
There's
so
some weird video games. So like, ask me
fucking-
what's the worst video games. Like, does that include all the weird hentai games that are out there? Like,
Because Girl Gun was terrible, but it was fun.
Girl Gun is at least fun because
I mean,
you're shooting girls and making them jizz.
I would say the most current one. I ventured into Sonic 06, and that was
Oh boy.
just bug ridden as fuck. But
So Star Wars.
Star Wars. Let me at least say my piece.
Okay.
Unlike many fanboys, I thought Episode 7 and Rogue One were brilliant. I thought
Wait, so was Force Awakens?
yes.
Thought that was good?
Yes, I thought Force Awakens. Like, I know a lot of people complained that it was a reboot, which it was.
It was, but it was fine. Member berries, all that.
Yeah,
you know?
but the thing was, it set an interesting premise. I was like, okay, so we don't know who Rey is,
Yeah.
but Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, Anakin's lightsaber, called to her. Interesting. You have, which at first I love what they did with Finn, but they fucked him up in the end. They made him a fucking space janitor, and I was just like, okay, so you have this stormtrooper who's the main character, who's possibly force sensitive.
He is
And-
force sensitive.
Yeah, he is force
Yeah,
sensitive. Like, it's obviously he's holding his own against Kylo in the battle, so he's force sensitive.
Boy. Yeah.
And then you turn, and he's obviously Rey's love interest. I don't care what anybody says.
You,
like,
in the first movie, that's where they were going. And
Yeah.
then Disney was like,
Black man, white
yeah,
woman.
it's like, I don't know about that.
I gotta sell this to white people. But,
Yeah, it's-
So there were things, and it's just like, even that aside, you had Finn, the most interesting Star Wars character.
Yeah, because you never had that
Yeah.
before. Like, the
It's-
closest thing you had was, like, the prequels when they showed you that fucking, they showed you fucking, fucking Boba Fett's dad was where all the fucking, stormtrooper fucking shit came from. And you're like, oh, well, there's an origin for the stormtroopers. And like...
So, and like, even then, like, I don't hate the prequels as much as everybody else does. Don't get me wrong. They are, some of them are very shit
I feel like
movies.
you could condense 1 and 2 into one movie,
Yeah,
and
no.
then have episode 3, because episode 3 is the most important one.
Yes.
because that's where you get Darth Vader, and where everything crumbles and all that
Yeah.
shit. So it's like, yeah, you could just cram 1 and 2 together,
And
put like a time skip in there and shit.
And the thing was, I think with Snoke, he was very interesting in episode
he is-
7.
no.
But no. Here's the thing. I think Disney. I think fans figured Snoke out, and Disney didn't want that, and the directors didn't want that because they were hinting at it, and even in some of the expanded universe material and some of the what's the books that follow the movies?
Yeah, the expanded universe.
No, not that, like, book, like, behind the scenes
the
and whatnot.
tie-in comics.
Yeah,
Or whatever, like, they were hinting that Snoke was Darth Plagueis, and I was like, oh, then that makes fucking sense. And I was
Yeah,
like, but hold on, let me get this tangent because I gotta get this.
Go.
So I was like, okay, Disney figured out, and this is my theory. I have nothing to prove it on, and I, unlike the president, will admit that I have nothing plausible to prove this on, except for certain things I've seen online.
It's important to know when you're wrong.
But so I was like, okay, episode 7, it set the stage for something interesting, and then we got Rogue One, and I was like, this is a badass movie. I like Rogue One, not because it's nostalgia, and not because it's really it's a story that didn't need to be told.
No, it didn't.
But
It was literally a sentence from a fucking. Never mind.
But-
Yeah,
Dude.
sorry.
but it was still good.
As a movie,
As a movie, it was good. And then we get to The Last Jedi, which I fucking hate. And I'm not one of those players. I'm not one of those fans. I'm not one of those fans that are like, I think they just did too many reversals, and I think, what's the name? His name again? The director
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, I think he's a fantastic director, but I think he should have directed Episode 9, because the thing is, like, my biggest thing is, I don't care that Luke's like an angsty old man. Like, I don't care. Just show us how he got there.
Yeah.
And then, no, and give us and have it make sense, because you don't. Here's the thing. And you can fight me on this, but Luke trying to kill Ben while in the past trying to redeem Vader, the only person in the damn galaxy that sees good in Vader.
That didn't make a lot of sense.
But that's why he's the way he was.
No. But the thing is, he redeemed Vader. That was the thing. He redeemed Vader. Yeah. And it's just like...
And I guess the implication, if you want to go that way...
But he didn't do it, though, and that's the thing.
Well, no, he did redeem Vader.
No, I'm saying when trying to kill Ben, he didn't do it.
But he thought about it.
Yes, and
he
that's
thought about
why
it to the point that he had his fucking sword out.
That's why he went into the exile that he was in, because it's like fucking that one fucking that one hiccup in his judgment is fucking what fucking caused all this shit. And so it's like that makes sense.
And it illustrates either Luke's, well, maybe both, Luke having weakness as a Jedi Knight, but also him thinking that Ben is a more serious threat than Darth Vader, which does make it makes a bit of sense. But then when you see what he actually does, it's like, this guy is not Darth Vader. No, this guy is a fucking poser. You know what I mean?
That's why he's not. That's why he didn't get killed.
And the fact that drives Luke totally crazy and makes him like want to isolate himself forever. It's like, okay, yeah, you thought a poser wasn't a poser for a minute. You shouldn't beat yourself up over it.
I thought it was more so. I thought Luke isolated himself more so because of what Kylo did.
Yeah.
And as far as like burning down his new Jedi temple. It's
both, man.
But here's the thing, and this is when you think about some of the things, it doesn't make fucking sense. So Luke went through all this trouble to put this information in R2 and have these people go on this quest to find him, only for them to find him. He's like, fuck it, I don't want to do this.
How do you know he put them on? How do you know he put them on the quest?
Because it said so. The movie told you so in The Force Awakens.
No, it was interpreted that way.
No, I have pretty much the same take. The first.
No, they said that they were trying to find
Luke Skywalker.
Not that he wanted to be found.
No, but Luke Skywalker left a fucking map inside of R2-D2.
Yeah.
Come on now, like he wanted.
You don't leave a map unless you want someone to find you. And
it's like, but I came here to die, and I didn't want to be found. Like, okay, like I said, I don't. Well,
maybe that was already done like before, like as a contingency plan.
Well, I don't know.
I'm not even going to discuss.
I kind of felt the same way.
That's low hanging fruit.
Force Awakens was the first Disney one, right?
Yeah.
When I watched that, I had the same take everyone else had. I was like, well, that was basically.
You remember Star Wars?
It was basically remember Star Wars, the first Star Wars. But yeah, I love
all three of them just in one movie.
I love that series. So it was like, okay, if you're gonna give me more of that, that's what I want.
But that's
Rogue One was like, all right, what if we did this universe, but did shit that you wouldn't normally see? What if we don't even pay attention to the Skywalkers? What if we do some fucking wild shit and just show what people like?
Introduce cool concepts.
Yeah. Like normal people in that universe. That was just a really cool thing.
You know how Rogue One would have been good?
How?
If it was The Mandalorian.
Well, I'm going to get to the Mandalorian. I actually like the Mandalorian, so that's a spoiler.
And this is funny. So this is like I almost like just need to walk out of the room because like I haven't seen the last Disney one and I haven't watched any of the Mandalorian. But that should be like that should be the testament of my take is that I was a huge Star Wars fan as a kid.
Just out now?
I had all the books. I read the expanded universe, Shadows of the Empire comic books. I had all that shit. I loved that shit.
See,
and what's the episode 8?
Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi. I watched that and I was like,
but you didn't like the prank call thing, General Hux?
No,
like
I watched it and I was like, okay, it's Disney now. You know what, Nelson? I think the reason you're defending it is the reason I didn't like it. The whole time I was watching that movie, I was thinking, this feels like a Disney Channel original movie.
Okay,
well, here's my thing. I think Rian Johnson.
You're just trying to get me riled up.
I think
you're just trying to get under my bones.
Sincerely, how I felt about it.
I think Lucasfilm saw the success of the Marvel movies, and they try to put that humor in there. Which I'm going to say this, it doesn't work with everything. Like, and that's a different discussion because look at Justice League. You have Batman as fucking Iron Man and cracking jokes, and when
but.
No, that was a shit movie, but wasn't Zack Snyder's fault.
But that's not this.
But that was out of for me. That was out of character, and not only that, but what's her face?
Oh, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
No,
like
but what's
that
her
guy
face?
anyway.
General
That's
Holdo. Like everything she did, all of her character arc.
you're
could've-
gonna the same argument
I'm
I've
gonna
heard a
say
million
it.
times.
No,
about
it
fucking
could have been
Holden.
solved.
Oh,
if
she could have just told him the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but he had just got fucking ranked down right before. Like he just got dressed down for
Still,
fucking
but you know-
insubordination
you
right
know
before.
why?
Yeah.
You
So
know,
why
because
would
she wouldn't tell him the fucking plan?
No,
if
he
she
got-
told him the plan from the
No,
get go,
he was
we
demoted
wouldn't have
for
had that.
insubordination.
But here's the thing.
No, fucking Leia demoted him, and that was her final move.
Okay,
that he
here's
was
the thing.
demoted. So he could have been a fucking traitor. They're getting followed
No,
through
but
Lightspeed.
here's
so
the
why
thing.
would she tell him
But
the
he's
plan?
not a traitor. We, the audience, know he's not a traitor.
Okay, but the
and then
last
not
thing
only
she
that,
heard was Leia fucking
Yeah,
demoting him for
but-
fucking insubordination.
but
So
here's
why
the
would you
thing,
tell
though.
an insubordinate pilot who just got demoted
because
your entire
he's still
fucking
the
plan?
best X-wing pilot you guys have. And the fact, and not only that, it's just like, all right,
You're not
so-
thinking like a general.
it's still, but even that, like that part is
That
like,
is how.
if she-
That's how the protocol
No.
would have gone.
But if here's the thing, like you just tell them the fucking plan and they follow along.
You're getting
wouldn't.
fucking followed
and
through
then not- and then-
Lightspeed.
and then not
There's
only
gotta be a
that-
there's gonna be a fucking rat
And,
on board.
speaking of
dude.
Lightspeed, let's talk about the Lightspeed ramming.
Dude, that was fucking tight, dude. Fuck you.
That was the
great.
dumbest thing
That was so
I have ever.
fucking
No,
sick.
that was visually the most beautiful thing I've seen in Star Wars. When I think about it, it's the dumbest thing. Why didn't they just
See,
Lightspeed
that's
ram
the
into the
problem. You're
Death
thinking
Star?
about it too much.
And that's my problem. You have when you start thinking about these things, the movie falls apart.
When you live in a light speed enabled
Yeah.
universe, it's like,
And
why
then-
isn't 9/11 happening constantly?
Yeah. Well, not only that, but not
think
only
about
that.
this. Think about this. When she did do the fucking light speed ramming, what part of the fucking ship did she go through? You saw it went through the fucking side. Like say, oh yeah, what if they fucking tried to light speed jump through the fucking Death Star? You saw the space that she went through that thing,
Yeah.
and like the part of it that she took out
But
before
still,
it blew.
it would've-
so
if
they
you
probably
do that
wouldn't
to
have.
the
They
Death
probably
Star-
wouldn't have made it all the way to where the shot needed
would
to
have
get
done
to.
enough damage.
No,
would've
it wouldn't.
definitely
That's why that shot needed to
fucked it
get
up,
right
but
where
yeah.
it was.
But here's the thing.
I feel you, though.
Why was it her? Like you bring back Admiral Akbar and then you kill him off in the lamest way possible, which he is a likable character. It's like that
Yeah,
movie
that
would have been
sucks.
so much better if it was Akbar who did it. I would have forgive that whole
Really?
scene
If it
was Akbar. I would because it was just like she was unlikable from the get go.
You'd be like, so it's a
That's
trap
so
guy
fucking funny.
has a full heroic arc.
Yeah,
And
just
you're-
kill him for like.
So you'd rather it just be the it's
Let
a
him
trap
be the
guy
noble
than
sacrifice
just some
guy.
other
Yeah.
person
Yeah,
who is equally as unimportant.
No, I would
the
say
whole movie
Akbar
is
a
fan
meme.
service. It exists
Akbar is a
as
meme.
fan
So you'd
service.
rather a meme save the movie.
Hell yeah! Because here's the
You
thing.
can't have it
Oh
both
no,
ways.
no,
You can't
no.
say
Here-
it's
here-
trying to be
let
a
me
Marvel
let me finish on that point. Like the reason why is because Akbar in Return of the Jedi was built up as this great general. Like granted he floated around in the sea and Mon Calamari.
He deserved
just
like another heroic shot.
if you're gonna get rid of him, especially considering that his actor died.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
if you're gonna get rid of him, don't blow him out the window. And then with Leia, like I know the Mary Poppins scene, like
Oh shit, that is okay. I will give you that.
like
is
that
really
was like
funny.
the dumbest thing ever.
It's really funny. Dude,
It's-
have you seen the shit where she just like?
Yeah, it's just like she-
Mary Poppins
Oh
away
yeah, she like
to the fucking
force
airlock.
floats herself back to where
And
she's
it's
supposed
just
to be.
like, but the thing is, like
Yeah.
with that scene
That's
alone,
what I'm. That's that Disney movie shit
That
that I'm
shit
talking
did
about.
crack me up, dude.
That
I
scene-
was laughing
that scene
at that.
to me broke the logic of the movie. and the reason why is because you never like even in the prequels when you had all these backflipping Jedis and shit, you never saw one of them do that. Like imagine if Mace Windu while Palpatine's like
Yeah, he shoots him out the window. He just
and then
forces his way back.
And you're like,
Yeah, you'd be like, wait,
okay.
what?
That's kind of the thing is like, despite all the magic and shit that goes into Star Wars, the 70s and 80s original series, it was like just, especially the original, just the first movie they filmed was just George
Before
Lucas.
they called it A New Hope.
It was just George on cocaine saying
Yeah.
like, no, this is what happens. This is this way.
Actually,
we're
I
doing it
have
this way.
And then
I have a
Clint
funny
Eastwood-
skit that I
not
want
Clint
to
Eastwood,
introduce
fucking-
on our channel.
Yeah.
Basically, I want to do like a black George Lucas. And,
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Hold on, can we
That's
take a
funny
quick
as
break
fuck.
so I can take a piss?
Yeah.
I mean, you
well,
guys can keep
just
going.
real quick.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you,
gonna
yeah,
say-
but
well,
my point on that real quick is just that, like, and then the next two movies he hired good enough directors to keep that grittiness. You could already see him losing it by the Ewok decision.
yeah.
you know, and so
See, but here's the thing. Like, as much as
And I
people
just-
may bitch about,
I feel like
here's the thing. He followed up with the Clone Wars animated series with Dave Filoni,
Which was awesome.
Yeah, and it made the clone it made that era of Star Wars so much better.
So much.
And it's just like you introduce interesting characters and you introduce interesting concept like the arc of like the Son of Mortis arc. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
So you have this villain who they can't beat. Like on paper,
Yeah.
they cannot beat him.
Right.
So it's just like you introduce these concepts of the Force and all these other things, which is funny because you can tell. I feel like that's part of the reason why they didn't officially do a season 6 at first was because they were going to hit on the wills of the Force, and then it's just like they got bought by Disney, and it's like fuck. They're not going to use that. So
and that's kind of, I mean, I don't know. The Disneyfication of Star Wars was like especially egregious to me, and it's like it's really funny to me that like Nelson has like gotten on me for not watching Disney Channel original movies before.
Whoa.
It's just, but
before this wavers off. Before this wavers off, because I don't want to forget this point,
Yeah.
and I don't want to spoil the movie for you. But as you already know, they brought Palpatine back for Episode 9.
Didn't like
And
that.
no,
And they announced it in
that's the
Fortnite.
thing. It's just like so.
Didn't like any of that.
No, it's like
No, Rise of Skywalker is dog shit.
no, the Rise of Skywalker is dog shit, but I would watch that before I watched Last Jedi. It's like it was dog shit, but I would watch that before the Last Jedi.
All right.
Like the Last Jedi was just like
Hot takes from Jason.
Yeah, the
Mays,
Last
though.
Jedi. Yeah, the Last Jedi. I'm sorry, like both movies suck.
The Last Jedi made me hate Star Wars, which I didn't think
and it's
anything
just
could make me hate Star
around
Wars.
the Last Jedi, we had Star Wars Rebels, which
Nope.
Space
fuck it.
Aladdin.
Fuck.
Did we really need Space Aladdin? No.
Also, you
But
had
know
Clone
what's-
Wars, so why would you
No,
make...
no, but Clone Wars is
They had
fucking
two.
awesome.
They had
Yeah.
two different Clone Wars series that was awesome. They had one by Gendy Tarkovsky, the guy that did fucking Samurai Jack.
Yeah, I
that
know.
was like,
we were just talking about that.
wow.
Yeah, it's so
and,
so,
then-
so
and
good.
and then the other one that fucking went on
Dave
for
Filoni,
years.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But
Clone Wars.
but then you have Rebels, and the thing is, the only good part about Rebels is when either
Maul.
you pull concepts from George Lucas or you're focusing on things from the Clone Wars,
Yeah.
like Ahsoka finally meeting Vader. That moment, I say hands down.
I
is
didn't know
the
that
best.
happened. That's
Oh,
awesome. I need
dude,
to
that
watch
moment
that.
is
It is pretty cool.
that moment is
I need to get
the
into that
hands
series.
down.
That and like in Clone Wars when fucking Obi-Wan and Darth Maul have like a second fight.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And the thing is, like with Clone Wars, when they brought Darth Maul back, people were like, "Well, why?" But they fleshed his character out, and you're like, "Holy
they
shit!"
showed how
like-
he was still alive and like he's fucking crazy.
I
and
read
all this
something.
shit.
I read something the other day that was about if George Lucas had been in charge of these last 3 sequels, he would have had
Darth
Leia.
Maul as the main.
Yeah,
villain.
Leia would be
Which
the
that
chosen
would
one,
be
and Darth
tight.
Maul would be the real villain.
But the thing is, when you look at Clone Wars and what they were setting Darth Maul up for, it makes sense. They
Yeah.
brought him back, and people were like, "Well, why are they bringing
Yeah,
him
if they would
back?"
have brought him back, and if they would have even like done what they did with the first like 2 new movies, and then the third one instead of Palpatine it was Darth Maul, I would have been right there for it. Even if they said, brought back off screen, it's like you literally have those like all that material to be like, that's where he's been,
See, but-
But it's like Palpatine came back to life off screen.
And that's the thing that
Fortnite.
That's the thing that
Oh, I think
bothers me.
I
Yeah,
think
he
the camera's
played his
dead.
message on Fortnite, but that's the thing that bothers me about that is
Oh
because
yeah,
Snoke,
fucking Fortnite thing. Oh,
because Snoke even said in Episode 7 that he was around for the Clone Wars. He was around for this, so it's like he's setting himself up to be something pretty powerful.
to be Dark Plagueis.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, cool. And then Disney, when fans figured that out, and Disney flipped shit like, no, we're smarter than you. Like,
And they-
he's nobody.
Yeah.
Like, what? No.
And then the person who you thought was nobody isn't nobody because
Yeah.
she's a Palpatine.
Which makes, when you think about that, makes no fucking sense. So it's just like, why did Anakin's and Luke's lightsaber call to her if she's a fucking Palpatine?
Because by the end of it, she's a Skywalker.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, you're really a Skywalker. Like,
Yeah,
no, it makes no fucking
She's
sense.
a Skywalker with a yellow lightsaber.
It makes no. It's like, oh, so you're gonna kind of rip off Mason, get your own color, but we're not gonna say anything about that.
It's because she's a girl. It's yellow.
Yeah.
Because pink would be 2 on the nose.
Yeah.
But
And
also,
that's the-
it's yellow on a fucking desert planet, so it looks dumb as shit.
And I will say this: I as much as I hate
actually, it has to do with which crystals you
Yeah, I don't
harvest.
give a
that,
fuck.
well, no, that's the thing too. Disney changed the mythology
They did.
behind the
The
crystals.
crystals, yeah. Because
But
instead of bonding with one or
You
like
have to
being made
bleed
by the
crystal or
hatred.
whatever.
Well, that's what Siths do. They
Yeah.
bleed the crystal, and it basically forms by like their hatred instead of their bond with the
and
crystal.
that's why it turns red.
Yes, exactly.
But
That's why you don't see like any, I mean, there is like the black blade, saber thing.
and that's the thing. Like the dark saber, I love that. And when it was introduced in the Clone Wars, I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
Yeah.
They need to bring this back.
See, I didn't know it was in the it completely slipped my mind it was in the Clone Wars until like it came up on Mando and like people were just like, oh shit, and they're like, we're trying to like draw strings that are the same guy, and I'm like, it's not.
No, it's not.
the same guy.
I think what's his face.
Oh, Boba Fett is definitely.
No, I'm not going to spoil that because
I will fucking.
I'm not going to spoil that part, but I'm going to say like the main bad guy. I think he's a Mandalorian.
It's gonna be Boba Fett.
No,
gonna be the main bad
he's
guy.
not. I'm not going to spoil it, but Boba Fett is not the main bad guy.
Does he finally show up in the third episode?
Interesting.
He doesn't show up
Because I know another Mandalorian shows up in the third episode, and it's the lady from fucking
It's
Longmire.
Bo-Katan.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because it's like what's her Katie Sackhoff played her in the Clone Wars animated series.
Yeah,
and I was like,
that was
man,
pretty cool.
As a watching the Clone Wars, I was like, man, if they do a real like live action, I was like, they can actually get her to play it.
As a
And to have
spoiler,
that-
I wasn't mad to hear because, like, basically, like, I would like see her face on like a YouTube thumbnail and be like, I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's gonna happen because, like, I haven't watched any of this stuff, but like knowing she shows up isn't even like a spoiler as much as it is like, oh, tight, you know, like, I'm fucking about
I'm
it.
talking about like Giancarlo's character. I believe he's a Mandalorian. Like I believe he's a Mandalorian that works for the Empire. Like
Wait, what? No, what?
yeah.
Could happen.
Yeah, I believe that's because think about it. Like when you again going back to the Clone Wars,
Okay.
when Darth Maul took over Mandalore, he had his own sect that stayed with him even after that. So
Yeah.
it's just like
See.
and
Oh my
like the
God.
Mandalorian introduced, like which we already knew if you watch the Clone Wars, and you're just like,
Yeah.
you're like, wait, the Mandalorians don't take off their masks. It's bullshit. They do, and then
I
you
love
realize
this.
there's different sections.
I've been so out of the Star Wars loop for the
Dude,
last couple
Mandalorian
years.
is literally saving Star Wars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mandalorian is single-handedly saving Star Wars.
I was telling Xander about this fan made thing that I saw. It's by these guys called like Hero Productions. If you haven't seen it, I'll send it to you.
Sounds
It's called the Last Skywalker, and like it's
Popped
this.
up on my YouTube, and I haven't
Yeah, dude, watch it. It's like they're like 100K special or something like that. Fucking watch it. It's like this whole like reimagining of things. That's like it's like what if fucking Star Wars ended well, you know? Because it uses like. You know, it doesn't like, do any fan-made stuff. It uses all, made footage and just like reshapes it and remakes it into this thing that like fucking builds and builds. And like, I was fucking in tears watching this thing, dude, because like, how like fucking in The Last Jedi, they tried to put weight on Leia's death and everything, like especially because Carrie Fisher like was dead and all this stuff. And it just didn't land because it's like you thought she was dead in the last movie and she like forced Mary Poppins to weigh in, and now she's just gonna be like, I'm done. It's like, wait,
and that's
no.
the thing that pissed me off is like they had time to re-edit that, they had time to rewrite that, and it's just like, dude, like her significance in the movie wasn't that, and The Last Jedi wasn't that big of a role, and what they fucked up the most is not getting Han, Luke, and Leia all together at once.
Yeah,
and
it's like they had like Han Solo
The
show
scene
up,
I was waiting for
and
that
like
never happened.
it kind of like mimicked the scene like when he died. It was like, I know what I have to do. It was like the whole I know thing, and it's like you have to watch this fan film thing because like it actually puts like all of that weight of like fucking Leia, Carrie Fisher, this fucking person who fucking your mom, Han Solo's
Yeah.
wife, fucking these guys, like these people who've done all this stuff in this world that have fucking got you
They
here.
basically crafted
Yeah,
the
it's
world
like
you
you're
live
Ben
in.
Solo,
Yeah.
you're here in this situation. Your mom fucking just died. It's fucking
no, and
dude,
see, and that's the
it's-
thing. Like,
yeah.
I have a theory that they were hyping Leia up to be the most powerful Force user, and that's why
That-
they didn't remove that scene.
Yeah.
And then she died.
I don't think
and
that would have worked though.
It wouldn't, but and that's the thing, because like that scene is a hint of something that we had never seen someone that uses the Force do.
Uh-huh.
Like, and
So you think it would have
true,
been different in The Last Jedi? Where
yeah,
it's
I
like
think she
since
would have had a more of a significant role.
so it's like since Luke didn't go out
They
like
didn't
that,
wanna do a
she'd
whole
be the
movie
one to
with
go out
CG
like
Leia.
that.
Yeah, and the thing
That'd
that
be
bothered me.
weird though, because Leia was never like.
But that's the thing. It's kind of like she's the precursor to Rey, because it's like you have someone who's extremely powerful. Hold on, let me. Like you have someone who is extremely powerful in the Force, but in a different way. She's not like a regular Jedi, like because she doesn't want to be a Jedi. and you know she's not a dark side user. She's kind of like Ahsoka, which I love Ahsoka.
Oh,
but,
Ahsoka's the best.
yeah, but so it's like I feel like play this. I don't know what would have happened in episode 9, but I feel like she would have had a bigger role, and we would have seen more of. We would by the end of the movie, we would have seen if it would have went a different way. We would have seen that she was one of the most powerful Force users out there, but that didn't happen. And like one thing I will say that I hated, like at first I loved because I was like, oh man, they're bringing back Palpatine, like yeah, best villain ever. And I know two completely different things, but I wanted to get on this, and it's just like, okay, so we've established that Palpatine is the most powerful Force user, bar none, before Anakin, you know, burnt himself. I have the high ground, but
Man, yeah.
so it's just like, and then like the way he goes out in the end of episode 9, I was like, so what's stopping him from coming back again?
Yeah.
Like,
No, he could yeah.
and then his plan was just so fucking stupid. Like you announced that you're back in fucking what was the game again?
Fortnite.
And then the whole movie,
If
like
you want maximum market,
yeah,
you go to
it's just like,
Fortnite.
hey,
Because those fucking
Don't put
kids
it in the
playing-
movie. Don't
kids
put it in the
playing
movie.
Fortnite
Put
are
it.
definitely the demographic that has followed Star Wars since the 80s.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, so we did that,
Fuck.
and then his whole movie. Then it's just like, oh well, some people are like,
Camera's out.
well, he did that
Yeah, that
to
one's dead.
get.
That one's still working.
He did that to get.
Where's the small one?
Dead.
Oh,
So
They're
people
all
were
dead.
like,
All
he
the
did
batteries
that
dead.
to get Ben's attention, and it's like, well, why didn't
Let's
he
hope
just?
this
If he
one's
was
good.
already
still
talking to,
working.
if he was already talking to Ben these past 2 movies as different voices inside your head, like why wouldn't he just tell him? Like,
Yeah.
and then it was just like, oh well, Snoke was just a test. I was like, bro,
what,
like
dude? Fucking for who?
he was like, I was
A
gonna
test
say
for who?
it was a test for Ben. Apparently,
Fucking, but Ray was the one that killed him. What the fuck?
it was just like
Oh.
Palpatine's plans was just like.
No, they fucked so much up, dude. They
It's-
fucked up so many
To be
things.
fair,
And this is so.
Snoke died in a hilarious way.
He did, and it was just like his dead body was looking there when they
So-
panned down to him. It was like this takes all the seriousness out of it.
This is just I
His head
like.
hit the ground, his tongue came out.
Yeah.
I just feel like I need to get like my nerd cred back up because you guys have been talking
You've
about so
just
much
been
Star Wars. I
schooled on
don't
Star
know.
Wars,
Well,
yeah.
all the recent Star Wars. I was the kid with the expanded universe books. All right.
I was gonna say I know the expanded. I know the
Yeah.
EU.
So
I played Force Unleashed.
What was his name? The fucking blue guy, Thrawn.
Thrawn.
Admiral Thrawn
That was the best thing.
was already fucking written. You can
Now
just
I'm
do
on the
Admiral
outside.
Thrawn.
No, here's the thing. They did them in Rebels, and that was the best part of Rebels.
God
Like,
damn, I know. Of course, because Admiral Thrawn. Fucking Shadows of the Colossus, or not?
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire.
Shadows of the Empire.
Colossus is
Yeah.
video
But
game.
that's
Good
also
video
cool.
game.
But we're already an hour 30 in. We
Yeah,
can't
all
go into
three
that.
of us will have
But,
different opinions for an hour on Shadow
But
of the Colossus.
yeah, Shadows of the Empire, amazing. Just make that movie. Fucking, there's just so much
Force
good shit
Unleashed.
already. You
Dark
know,
Forces.
there's a book series called X-Wing, and there's 2 sub-series where it's Rogue Squadron and a different squadron, and
Oh shit!
it's so good.
I
And-
just remembered something from The Mandalorian. Xander, you're gonna be upset when you realize that the fucking New Republic, old rebels
Yeah,
flying
yeah,
X-wings.
yeah.
They're basically just cops now.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Of course
No,
they are.
that's the-
Fucking
that's
pulling
They're the
over
new
the-
stormtroopers.
they
That's what
fucking
happens when
pulled
government
over
changes.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
There's a whole
But
thing.
That's
the
so
thing,
fucking funny.
Like, I think Disney at first was just like, no, we're going to do our own thing, and
And they shouldn't have done
They
that.
shouldn't have. It's like you have so much lore, and then they started. And
It's
then,
like we're Disney. We have the best people.
See,
No,
but that's
the
dude.
the
thing
thing.
was, is like you had people like Dave Filoni pulling from that lore. It's like, all right, we're going to bring Thrawn in. Like what? Like okay, well I trust you.
It's where they
So-
should have been the whole
Yeah,
time.
and it's just like okay, put it like this: if you're going to have a big bad for
There
you're
was
gonna
there was a bounty hunter series all about Boba Fett already, so the Mandalorian is already
fair-
written for you.
Actually,
you know
did
what
you
I mean?
guys see
Like,
the
whoa,
unreleased Star Wars game where they were doing like a parallel universe thing where the Jedi's were evil?
Give
so
me
they-
that, dude.
Yeah,
Give
they
me
have
some
this,
weird
they
ass
have the
Star
character
Wars.
design
You know,
of a redeemed Anakin,
See,
like a redeemed Vader, and they had the
still with the cybernetics.
Here's
Yeah.
what I'm
Oh
thinking.
my
Here's
God.
what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. So the reason that they probably didn't put these movies and like the heads like Dave Filoni and like Gendy Tartakovsky and like people who like made good shit.
Fans of Star Wars who are also amazingly talented
Yeah,
artists.
they probably didn't put that in their hands because of like movies like how Rogue One did and how Solo did, because it's like those were independent stories from people who were fans of Star Wars,
Well,
and it's like it seemed like people didn't really
One
like
last
care
point on
about
Solo.
those movies.
To me,
liked Solo.
Here's the thing: I feel like that was the most pointless movie in Star Wars
Dude,
existence.
so
And you guys saw Rogue One, right?
No. Here's the reason why. Because play this. You have a character like Han Solo. We know he lives. We know Chewbacca lives. So there's really no tension throughout the entirety of the movie.
And
like, we're gonna cut his arm off and then explain he just grew a new one.
But
that is
obviously
I
you
forgot
never
that
thought
movie.
Han Solo was gonna die.
I forgot about that movie, and again this. Well, I can't even remember the name of it. It was that bad. The episode 10?
I thought you meant Last Jedi.
Not the Last Jedi.
Rise
the
of
one right
Skywalker?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Or
Yeah.
wait, Force Unleashed.
No. It
Force
was
Awakens. That was the first new one.
Yeah. No, the first new one was good. I liked Rogue One, and then I watched
the Last Jedi.
Yeah, okay. And that's the one where I was like, Star Wars sucks now. And I'm like, they're making a Han Solo movie. Maybe Star Wars doesn't suck. And then I say, who's playing in it? Who's writing it? Who's directing it? I'm like, there's no way this is going to be good. And then as soon as it comes out, everyone's like, this is not good. This is a trash movie. And it's
I'm
like,
sorry,
Han Solo.
trash.
Han Solo is my favorite character. I've
it
talked
was
before
a-
about how like the way they
It was
portray
better
him.
than Rogue One.
The way they show him in Empire Strikes Back, where he's just chilling on the Millennium Falcon with Chewbacca, like
No,
treating the princess
Solo
like
was
she's an
better than
asshole.
Rogue One,
Like, oh my
dude.
god,
Solo was.
I never
better than
watched
Rogue
it,
One.
but it's like
You've never.
I
See,
never,
but I
I never
think I
watched it
will watch
because
Solo.
But the thing,
I will.
good.
I will watch
It's
all of it.
actually
thing,
good.
I think that, and Solo's a prominent example of what's wrong
But
with the Disney era.
The taste in
Because-
my mouth was so bad from the movie before that I was like, I'm not gonna watch them.
and
fuck
that's
over
what
my
and
boy.
that's what okay, so here's my thing. Disney got too cocky and thought they knew Star Wars more than the fans, and they started quote unquote rebelling against the fans. So it's like, oh, your Snoke theory's wrong. It's not Darth Plagueis.
Yeah, no,
then it's
it
just
would have
like-
made sense if he was Darth
Yeah.
Plagueis.
And it's just like, okay, so you guys want an Obi-Wan movie when he's on Tatooine? No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We're going to give you a Han Solo movie. You guys want a Boba Fett movie? Which it's like, okay.
Hold on one second. All right. Wait, so both of those cameras dead?
Guess that's us wrapping it up.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's. Yeah.
We had it
Let's,
for an hour and a half, so.
okay.
Well, I'll just say this. It's just
Well,
like,
hold on. Let's. Yeah. Let's get this.
Try to hold that thought.
oh, I'm holding it.
I like that we got an hour and a half without talking politics. That's
Yeah.
good. That feels good. That makes me feel like 2020 might be wrapping up. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is all going on the DVD.
Yeah,
These are DVD extras.
bonus features
Yeah.
for the real fans.
Yeah. We got 3 cameras and they're all dead. And
All dead.
so now people are gonna look at the photo of us that's on this podcast. They're just.
Oh, you'll think of some cute animation.
I'll think of something.
We'll work it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of,
I'm gonna take pictures of all of us standing in poses, and I'm gonna just.
there's a lot of
I'm
fair
gonna-
use cartoons.
Then
Yeah.
just like cut it out and make
Yeah.
it
I'm gonna
No one's
fucking.
sue you if you use footage of like, samurai pizza cats or whatever.
You don't know that. I thought
like, it's on
know.
Amazon Prime.
Well, you were all like the good Lord Bird stuff will be fucking fine, and that was the first podcast episode we had to get copyright claimed. It got straight up blocked the first time until I fucking put a filter over it.
It's fucking stupid, dude.
Yeah,
There's so
fucking.
much fair use of
Yeah, we can't use fucking footage from certain shit. That's why I realized fucking I'm using
Twitch has some weird rules.
for green screen, like for my green screen stuff. I'm using like GIFs and stuff now because it's like, yeah, I can't fucking copyright claim a GIF, bitch.
Yeah.
Don't look a gift horse in the mouth or I'll kick you.
Ah. I see what you did there.
That's right.
Nelson is a comedic genius.
I am. That's what I do.
The main reason we work together.
You know, cameras are rolling, lights are on. I just turn it on.
And it's rolling. And it's on.
So the thought that I was gonna say, I think Disney was just rejecting the fans and thinking they didn't understand Star Wars when it's like, look, the fans know Star Wars better than these corporate people.
Yeah.
And it's just like the whole premise of a Boba Fett movie to me, like that's just asking to be made because the thing is,
And that's why The Mandalorian's doing so well.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing: is like, do you know, like when they do the Star Wars tease or whatever? It's like, is this before he died or after? You can play that angle. It's like we don't know. And it's just like, you can make both, because he's this interesting character that you just don't utilize. Or what my favorite would have been, a Darth Maul movie. Like, I would have, especially after.
But they're not going to give you that because of all the Darth Maul shit you got from Clone Wars and Rebels.
No, but that's the thing. They set him up and
But that's the
some of
way
the
that
best
these
Star
companies work. They feel like they've already done that
Well,
to
no,
the
I
point
think-
that
I think-
didn't
Well, I think the
need-
way they work is just like they just don't listen to fans. It's just like, and the thing is, it's like,
No, I do think you're right, because I do think you get to a level where you're in your own bubble and you don't listen to the fans. Like, I'll let you finish your point and I'm gonna dovetail it with something I think agrees.
like I think as far as like that goes, is because, and I think that's what hurt Disney Star Wars the most. And it's just like when you look at the Mandalorian, they're listening to the fans. Like
Yeah.
when you look at all like some of the things like I said it earlier, like Rogue One did not need to be made. Like no one gave a shit about that
No.
movie being made.
Okay, I'm
Like-
glad we can agree on
but-
this. All right, thank you.
But it was awesome.
It was good.
yeah,
It
but
was a part of the
awesome.
story that was kind of inconsequential. We all knew how it ended, but
kinda.
the
It was
film
awesome.
itself was fucking
And,
cool.
But again, it's just like with Han Solo. I'm like, cool. This is just kind of like a Princess Leia movie. Like not saying it wouldn't
Yeah.
be good, but it's just like, why don't you
Yeah.
give us an Ahsoka Tano movie? Like,
Yeah.
that, like
and
all
if
that time
you've read the
Clone
if you've
Wars.
read
See,
the
and
book,
I'd
The
like-
Courtship of Princess Leia, you
I'd
don't
like to
need
think
that.
that's because you got Jon Favreau working on this stuff, and as much as people want to shit on Marvel movies, there was fan service that meant stuff in those movies, and so it's like he's worked on those movies. He's seen what fan service does well and what doesn't. All in the name of like telling a story
that's-
and shit.
That's the thing. Jon Favreau knows the material, and that's why it works. Because, like, again, with the exception of Justice League being a shit movie, that out of the window, it's like, why did you turn Barry Allen into Peter Parker? Why did
Yep.
you turn Batman, who literally was just murdering people in the previous movie, into Iron Man? Like,
Yep.
why did we need to see why did you try to cater to more Marvel stuff? Like, don't get me wrong, I know people that don't like BVS, and that's a whole different story.
That's why Birds of Prey was so good.
Whoa, are we transitioning to a whole other nerd topic? 'Cause
No, what we're gonna do is close off.
yeah, because
with
we're
this,
at like 1:35.
Yeah,
This
let
could
me,
be a whole other episode.
Let me
you know?
dovetail what you're saying about like these rich.
I didn't mean to cut you guys off.
CEOs.
Like,
No, these are CEOs that live in a bubble, and they think they know what you like more than you know what you like, and I see this because I've been a wrestling fan my whole life, and the biggest wrestling company on the planet, WWE, they're basically Disney. And there are all these out of touch decisions that happen, and all this shit, and then it's like you put somebody who's a fan of something onto it and it suddenly works. That's why it's like to throw things back to wrestling, it's like this new company AEW has been around for a year, and they're the fucking second biggest company in America because they're run by wrestlers. They're run by people who know what
Hell
people
yeah.
want to see and who know
Absolutely.
how the shit work. And so it's like now fucking it's basically wrestling's Disney is having to deal with fucking just some fucking indie company that's come off the ground because
let me just get
of
this
the
last
popularity.
point in. I'm going to say that's why fan service goes a long way.
It
and
does.
why
It really
but
does.
at the same
Most
time, it's
important
just
one.
like fan service in a negative way will give you the rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
But like again, not to belabor or just make this. That's why in my opinion, that's why The Boys as a TV show works.
hell yeah.
That's why
Boys is
Everyone loves the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's the reason why for me
Goddamn,
certain
Jason, you're gonna have to come back next week because we
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff to talk
Yeah.
about.
Oh, well, I'll gladly be here.
Well, we
Well,
gotta do
'cause
more.
we gotta do
do
that
more
next
ear
episode.
videos anyways.
Oh yeah, the next episode,
But-
which is
but-
going to be M1-tastic.
I am
shit.
so ready. But the one last tie-in I have for that, and I'm just to steer this back towards gamership for a minute, is Sonic the Hedgehog as a series has been sucking for a long time. The best game they've done in years was Sonic Mania,
Yeah,
where they literally found a guy who makes Sonic fan games online. I think that one might be dying too, bro. Like all the batteries
just
are
kind of
draining.
Just kind of to add to your point.
But yeah, they got a guy who is a huge Sonic fan to make a Sonic game
Yeah.
that sold like gangbusters.
I bought it day one.
Yeah, me too. And the fucking other game that came out where you make your own Sonic persona Nobody
Oh,
wanted
that one was
shit.
See, but here's the
bad.
thing.
can't
That was the
remember
one
the
that they
name of
fucking
it.
made after the TV show.
Yeah.
Well, here's the
and
thing.
just, and
I think
so, yeah.
Sega's always been toying around with the idea of going retro, and they brought Kid Sonic or Little Sonic back in Generations, and it's just
Yeah.
like, oh, we're rehashing this
But-
with newer graphics, and it's like, oh, this isn't that bad.
The point is, if you're creating something and getting paid for creating shit, listen to your fans.
exactly.
Yeah, and just to kind of
Yeah.
fold that back in on this whole
That's what
conversation,
we do here.
don't fucking change Final Fantasy VII. We liked it the first time. You don't need to fucking, just the Star Wars we had was fine, and you thought you could make it better, and you didn't. You know what I mean? Like all the shit they add to Sonic the Hedgehog,
Rise
we
of
don't want it.
Skywalker
We just
was,
want to run. you know,
Last
it's-
Jedi was pretty good.
Last
you know.
Jedi was good for, like, dumpster
But yeah,
fires.
so don't be like Disney.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
honestly,
like what you like.
Yeah,
too.
like what you like, and stand on the hill that you want to stand on. If
Fuck
you
yeah.
like, that's one thing that I really do admire. Is like Nelson and I disagree a lot on the Last Jedi, but I'm still going to respect him at the end of the day.
Yeah,
know.
it's like you have to that's what this shit's all about. You respect the people around you. That's what fandom discourse should be. And
Yeah.
a lot of the time it can become like a toxic environment, and that's not what we want.
I can't
And,
wait till we have some toxic fans
Yes,
on our
this
comments.
is why
I'm so ready.
on here we'll get shouty, we'll get screamy, but at the end of the day, it's like we're all fans of it, and that's why we're talking about
Yeah.
this.
And this
And
time
so-
we didn't even overdrive the interface that much.
Yeah.
There's only a little bit of peaking on this one.
Awesome. Hopefully this episode turns out well. Jason's obviously going to be back because we have a lot of shit to talk about. And if you want us to talk about a certain thing, fucking leave it in the comments. We fucking talk about everything. I watch a bunch of TV. Xander's on the internet all the time. Jason's a genius. And, we're basically, just doing whatever we want down here, And for some reason, I'm at the head of the table.
Hell yeah.
Again,
It's a lot of fun.
not because I'm the most important one, but just because, I'm the shortest in the room and this is the best way to see me. Anyway, while you're on the channel, watch some more videos here. Maybe watch another episode of the podcast. Go watch Jason's show when it's out because it's awesome. Working Class Music should be coming soon.
Coming
It should
soon.
be coming soon to YouTube. And Xander's always on Twitch, and so am I. And if you ever want to just drop in and say, hey, that would be greatly appreciated.
Jason, plug your bands real quick.
Yeah, Jason, plug your shit.
Yeah, I'll plug my shit real quick. I play music in a band called
Oh,
Culture.
there's your camera, by the way.
Yeah. I play music in a band called Culture Cough. I also play music in a band called Young Mountain and Mir. I also play music
Wait, you're
in
in
a band
Culture Cough
called, Yeah.
with Chris Kelly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Her.
nice.
This kid
Yeah.
just works all the time.
I play music in a band called Young Mountain, and I also play music in another band called Mir. And I have a solo record that's coming out that's tentatively titled right now Lovers, apostrophes or whatever in brackets, Lo-Fi Film Score. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, this has been the Interesting Conversation podcast. For Xander Cook and Jason Mays, my name is Nelson Crawford. Que sera, sera,
everybody.
carpe diem. Follow your heart.
Love you guys.
Biden
yourself.
2020?
May the force be with you.
Oh wait, we didn't talk politics. Donald Trump lost.
Yeah.
He
Bitch.
lost.
He lost.
Election fraud.
Suck it.
We're done talking about it. He lost. That's all the
Yeah.
politics this week. All right, love you guys.